I'm looking here at a Numatic aqua vacuum. It's a wet and dry vacuum cleaner. My particular one was called George, but looking on the website, they do several vacuum cleaners which can be used for cleaning carpets with a wet function. That's the end that is on the end of the handle for the wet and vac. Now, I've realised why generally, if you get a blocked or non-working jet, they sell the complete assembly. That's because, although you can buy a new jet, there are no instructions that I've come across on the Numatic website about how you replace the jet. Anyway, I'm not replacing it with the new jet at the moment because I think I might be able to get away with using the old one. And the reason for that is because I've soaked both ends of this tube here in vinegar, and the jet itself has come up nice and cleanly. All the residue that had caused it to be blocked has come out of it, and so I'm not going to need the new jet. Now, the only problem is the jet is assembled onto the little bracket that holds it onto the end of the vacuum tube. That's the bracket, and inside of it there's a ball bearing, and I'm assuming a spring. Put ball bearing and spring. There may or may not have been two or more little slugs. Oh, who knows? Anyway, I've caught the ball bearing and spring, but the assembly doesn't say how they go. So I'm just going to assume that the ball bearing is used to stop backflow up the tube. It goes on like that, and that where it seals is into the end in there. So the ball bearing will seal into there. I could be wrong, but if the ball is pressed into the other end, then it would completely stop the flow, so that would be no use. So anyway, that's just my logic on it. So let's have a look at the reassembly process. Take a few stills. I'm going to reassemble them: the jet, the spring, the ball, and this fitting with the plastic mount that will hold it onto the end of the tube in the middle. So I'm going to assemble them in that order. So that assembly there just slides onto the attachment on the end of your lance of your tube, and then as you put the bit that does the suction, the plastic shaped part on, and tighten up that little screw, it holds it all on, because there's a cutout in there which will fit across up to the plastic and hold it all in place. Right, when I squeeze that all up together. Right, before I finalise this video, I've just thought about what it will do. Having that ball valve in there will just stop the lance dripping liquid once you release the trigger at the end there to stop the flow of the fluid. So under pressure you'll get fluid being forced out, but then when you turn the trigger off, you'll still have fluid in there, and it will just stop that dribble out of the liquid. If you've got a little ball valve on the end, it'll be strong enough to stop it falling out under gravity, but light enough in terms of its spring retention to allow the pressure of the liquid from the pump on the machine to blast it out. That one, which is the one I've been using to clean the carpet in small areas, is the one that was designed for the upholstery. That's the upholstery attachment. So now I'm going to go back to using that one, hopefully, and do a bit more cleaning of the carpet. I'll let you know if this is not successful. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world if you do lose the ball and spring, if that's all it is to stop the drips, because it won't affect the functioning if you manage to clean the whole thing out using that old wives' trick of soaking everything in vinegar. Get it all nice and clean. Don't damage the nozzle by probing with anything that's too hard, because if you disturb the geometry of the nozzle, the spray pattern will be disturbed. That's the main warning about these things. But basically, hopefully, that clean will have restored it to full functionality, with or without the ball and spring.